want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. They'll take for their disease. Rage is like a weed, spread into the streets. It's time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip cards in the weak and harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. 'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make
All right, guys, let's get this party started. If you want a reading, be sure and visit my stand store. It is linked in the description below. And as always, we have a fair use, a disclaimer. As you come in, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and share the video if you like it. Let's get it going. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Astrology for Mystics with Jen. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Hey. How's it going, Army Vet? Good to see you. Good to see you, Jeff. Michelle, Witchy Mama is in the house. Hey, guys. Uncle Taco is chilling at the park in Springfield on his lunch break. Hey, Uncle Taco. Good to see you. Hey, Cindy. Miss Cinderella. Hey, y'all. So last night when I was doing the live, I was working on Sebastian's map. I was talking about different things, and Shauna was talking about pulling up a return chart. And so today, what I want to talk about, or I think that she called it a solar return, but today, what I want to talk about is the ways in which I investigate are absolutely my software allows me to do so much. And when I first started astrology, I didn't know shit. I didn't know anything, right? And so my software was already set. It was already preset on certain zodiacal system, and that's what I started learning with. That's exactly what I started learning with. So that is what I still use the same system. However, and I'm going to show you guys the systems, okay? Because you're probably like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm going to show you because I don't know if you're like me, but a lot of times for me, if I see it, I can understand it a whole lot better than somebody just explaining things to me, you know? So today I want to take that time and do that and use different maps and charts, things of that nature. I don't know. Let's see where this takes us. Okay. Let's just see where this takes us. But thank you guys so much. I was going to do it at 12 and then I was running late. I needed to eat. I still needed to take my bath. So that's why I changed it from 12 to 2. So if you see this photo next to me, I am 53 years old. Okay, so we're going to use me because I oftentimes will use myself as, the guinea pig here. So this is showing you 0, right? We got 0 in the first house. We got 71 in the last house. So it goes up to the year of 71. Obviously, people live past 71. I am 53. So that means if we find 53, I am showing up in the 6th house at age 53. This means that the Lord of the house of my profection year is the 6th house. It rules Virgo. So Virgo, and what is it that I've been doing? What is it that I've been doing in this profection year? I have been starting to focus on my health more, my daily routines, and balancing, right? Doing the balancing act. I've started going to my son's every, like, I've started going to my son's too because he has a workout, he has a gym. And when I was growing up, I loved the gym. My dad was a coach. And so I loved to hang out. I had to hang out after school because he was a coach. And so I oftentimes worked out with the guys in the gym, right? In high school. So I was a very fit young woman, girl. I've always been fit. But since I went through my Chiron return, I have not been as fit. So that is explaining this 6th house perfection year. It is totally different than a solar return. So what happens is if we take a solar return, you have to know what time you're born, okay? I shine, you shine at a certain degree in your chart. Now let me backtrack. Let me don't go to the solar return just yet. Let me backtrack. Perfection type of system that is used right here is oftentimes a Hellenistic astrology. I don't do Hellenistic. I don't do whole sign. I like seeing all the degrees, right? So if I were to do your chart as a whole sign Hellenistic, I am not going to see any of the cusps, houses, signs. I'm not going to see them separated. It's going to be Aries, Taurus, on the 0 house cusp. There's not going to be any, house system that is intercepted. Okay. That's Hellenistic. And that's what I learned when I first got my software is that I didn't want to use whole signs. I like to see the numbers. I'm a numbers girl. So that's how I began astrology. Okay. This this system can give us clues. It might could give us clues, but it's not what it's not gonna do for me with this channel, with mapping, is help me find a missing person. That's what it's not gonna do. It's not going to allow me to have I can't use a Hellenistic perfection year and map it and see where I could find someone, if that makes sense. So, thank you for showing as well. Yes. Yes, witchy mama, of course. No problemo. Problem. So, this is a perfection year. So, what we do is if we were to do whole sign house, okay, let's say that I do a solar return chart for you. I pull up your birth time. Okay, but the birth time each year is not going to have the same exact degree as what you shine. So, like when I did the reading on Donald Trump, his birthday wasn't the 14th, it was the evening of the 13th. Okay. It was the evening of the 13th. So, that is the chart that I'm reading. I'm reading the evening of the 13th. Now, we could take that chart of Donald Trump's and we could go month by month by month by month. Okay. And let me show you. Let me just show you because I think I can show you better. Actually, let me explain. Let me get help using this explanation of the difference between a perfection chart and a solar return chart. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. Well, okay, so let me get this even bigger. Okay, so the annual perfection, this is what I just showed you. I mean, there's all kinds of different diagrams, but it's going to say the same thing. 53 is still going to be in the sixth house. Okay, don't let the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 get you all messed up because in that little small circle is where the houses are. So don't let it get you messed up from the flow up. Actually, let's just forget that so it doesn't confuse you. All right, so the solar return charts are yearly snapshots, exact moment the sun returns to its precise natal degree. So the precise natal degree, so if you shine at a 2255, when the sun comes back to its natal degree, 2255, that's when your actual birthday is. So that is actually when Donald Trump's birthday was, is last night or the 13th, not the 14th, not yesterday. It was actually the evening of the 13th. Okay. Perfection charts are a predictive timing technique that shifts your focus to one specific house per year based on age. Okay. So each year we could go like, let me show you. Let me show you something. Hold on. Oh, I can't share that. I'll show you in just a second. And if you start getting confused, just tell me I'm confused. Go back to this, okay? A solar return chart creates an entirely new independent chart for the year, while a perfection chart is a tool to activate and read parts of your existing natal chart. So there's a big difference, right? A chart that is calculated for the exact second the sun returns to the exact degree, minute, and second it occupied when you were born, that is a solar return chart. So if I tell you I'm pulling a solar return chart, you know what I'm doing. I'm pulling your chart to the exact moment that your sun, I'm talking about down to the second. And I'm going to see where you're rising, all of that. Okay. I'm going to see how it is affecting you in essence. Okay. With the different transits. Okay, so valid from your birthday when the sun returns until your birthday the following year. So each year you have a solar return, and each year it's going to rise at a different degree. It's going to rise with a different ascendant, right? It's going to act as a standalone blueprint for the entire year. So the ascendant, the moon, the planetary placements, they're going to change. It's all going to change. And it sounds very confusing, don't it? And I don't have to. Let me just emphasize this. I don't have to do none of that to tell you how your year is going to work out by just looking at your chart. I've done it for years now, and I honestly, for me and my practice, I don't really need to do any of that. We could get all technical and we could get into all of it. We could look for the Time Lord and all this stuff. But as far as me and the work that I do, it's really not necessary for me to do that. I can see why other people do. I can see why other people like to predict, different events and things like that and try to do it that way. Annual Profection charts, it says what it is, a traditional predictive technique, which is very ancient, guys. Hellenistic astrology is ancient. I mean, it goes back forever ago. That moves your focus through the 12 houses of the zodiac, covering one house per year of life. The time frame cycles in a 12-year loop. So it'll start at 0. Then when we get back to that ascendant, it starts at 12. So when you turn 12 years old, you are back to the beginning of the ascendant, okay, of your ascendant. How it works, it designates a specific planet as the Time Lord. So for me, using this perfection, I'm in the 6th house, which my Time Lord, what rules the 6th house? It's Mercury. It's Mercury. So Mercury rules my chart when I'm first born, and Mercury is still ruling my chart. However, Mercury is ruling my chart with Virgo instead of Gemini now. It's all about my health, my daily routines, my everyday, possibly teaching, getting things in order, right? Analyzing all the things that I've done so far because it's analytical. It's all about communications and it's a health axis. So, how they work together. Let's look at how they work together. Astrologers typically use these two tools in tandem for predictive readings. The perfection chart tells you what area of your life you are focusing on this year, and the solar return chart tells you how you will handle it and what specific events will unfold. So, that is that in a nutshell. Let me know what questions you have now. Let me know what questions you got before we move on to the actual astrology chart. So our souls does return to our birthplace? No. No. You mean your sun? Hmm. I'm trying to understand your question, sweetheart. Julia, trying to understand. Hey, Cree Designs. So our souls does return to our birthplace. Hmm. Well, I would say it returns back to source. That's where your soul is going to return, is back to the source in which it came. That's my philosophical answer. So, okay. So let's get into the so does everybody understand the perfection is a different type of system altogether? We can use the perfection system with Placidus. I use Placidus. I don't use the Hellenistic whole system astrology. I've got to map, so I've got to have degrees and I rely a lot on degrees. Okay. So let's look at this one. Hold on. Let me remove that one. Stop that one. And let me just show you some astrology. Let's just look at the screen first. The entire screen. Yeah, the entire screen. Okay. Let's look at the entire screen right now. And I'm going to show you the astrology. I'm going to try to walk us all through this, okay? And if you have any questions, I've got chat up. I've got chat up. If you've got any questions, just let me know. Oh, hold on just a second. Let me return this text. Shauna just texted me. I don't guess she knows I'm live. Um, okay. So if we look at Trump's solar return, okay, so what this means is that let me pull up my pen. This means that he's born on June 14th, but his solar returned to natal on June 13th at 6:26:52 p.m. Actually, hold on. No, 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 no. No, no, no. That's the wrong. I pulled up the wrong one. Hold on. Because he's in Washington, D.C. So this is going to be different. Hold on. That's not the one I read. That's not the one I read. Hold on just a second. Let me put it to the 22:55. Well, it's still there. Okay, but let's take it to the exact moment. Let's take it to the exact moment. Okay, well, it's about the same then. Okay, right there. 20. Okay, well, maybe it's right. Okay. Okay, so this is right. Because I want to take it to where he's living, okay, where he's at. So mm, so his natal sun returned at a 22:55, but it didn't come on the 14th. It came on the 13th, the evening of the 13th. And the things that I was seeing with his chart, I did a I did a video based on his ascendant, which is a 29:55 in Leo. That ascendant, you don't see it here, right? You don't see it here. In the solar return chart, you are seeing that he is rising with other people's money, with debt, with taxes, debt, things that are hidden, mysteries, hidden sex, things like that, you know? Okay, so we can see that this year is going to be setting up as soon as he turns, as soon as he turns whatever age he turned, I can't remember. Well, yeah, I mean, this is where we're rising, but at the same time, I can read this chart so easy, guys, like so easy. Oh, Cree Designs, you sweetheart, you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You are so sweet and so caring, so giving. Thank you so much, sweetie. Welcome to the watchers, guys. If you are in the chat or if you come in here and you see that you have become a member, just thank Cree Designs. Thank you, sweetheart. Polly Designs by Sherry, Cam Gals, Venus, 3200. Thank you, Cree Designs. You're such a sweetheart. Thank you. You sweet thing. Sweet, sweet. Okay. What I can definitely tell right here, thank you, Cree Designs. I appreciate that. You're very sweet. What I can tell right here, I don't need to look any further. Okay. If we were to take this chart, okay, and we can test it, if we're all alive long enough to test it, we're going to be able to look at it. So a perfection year, if we were to take, say, and we were to look at it, okay, this is going to be the next 30 days. And then this is going to be the next 30 days. So we've got June 13th to July 13th, July 13th through August, right? And so we can just do that. And I can guarantee you one thing, I see Homeland Security and Russia way up here in the 8th house. I also see the 1450 is connected to Mexico, okay? But I'm already seeing that that is expressing itself already. I'm already seeing that it's expressing itself already, okay? So if we think about it like this, okay, so we've got June to half of July. So July, August, September, October, November, December, January. January. This would be January 13th to February 13th of 2027. That's how some people will read a solar return chart It'll go month by month by month until we come back to the next rising natal. So instead of him rising at a 29:55 in Leo, he's now rising at a 27:30 in Scorpio. Does that change his ascendant from his birth? Absolutely not. So it's a very it can be very confusing to explain it, to try to understand it, but could it work? Could we see it working? Well, we could come back because, again, June to July, July to August, August to September. I mean, yeah, August to September, September to October. Am I doing that right? I could if I were to write it, it would do a lot better. Anyway, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. So we're going to be here in January. I can see that there's a lot of emotions that are happening right now with the FBI, with the courts and the FBI. I mean, and this is happening right now. Right now, I can see it right now. Is this making sense to you guys? Do you see how when we are looking at it from this point of view, that it may be very difficult when we're looking at the mapping strategy? Let me just show you something. Let me show you an example. So I've gotten this. So I've got Veronica. Do y'all remember Veronica and Jillian? Veronica left her house, 8:45. She goes to pick up Jillian. They're in Kansas. They leave and they're coming to meet to exchange, and get the child, right? They're coming for an exchange. And they are not found for almost a month. And they're finally found with Tiffany's friend Tad and some of their friends right here. And they're found in Oklahoma. And this is where Oklahoma shines. They shine at a 23-degree in Scorpio. So they're shining at a 23-degree in Scorpio. This is where they are shining. If I look at the chart, what I did is I mapped them from from Veronica's house. So Veronica leaves at 8:45 a.m. I mark it. I want to see where they're going. This is where the car was found. Now, when they got ambushed, if I were to have, and what I learned from this is if I were to have put the map beginning at Veronica's house at the time that they were ambushed. Well, she wasn't ambushed at her house. She was ambushed. They were ambushed here. This is 9:40 a.m. where their phones turned off. This is where they got ambushed. Or right around the place where they got ambushed. Anyway, if I were to have made the missing event there, then the event would be descending here as well. It would be descending where they were found. Are y'all following me? But I didn't. I wanted to map it from Veronica's house because this is where she left at 8:45. That's where I know that she left from, or that she, picked Jillian up. Let's see what else I've got here. I mean, I've got, I got Tiffany, where Tiffany lived. Tiffany is on this conjunction with the missing event. And if you guys don't remember this case, then you'll be confused. But it was each map. I try to go back after they're found, and I try to go back and I try to understand. I try to see what I did right, and I try to see what I did wrong. Right? I'm just trying to see and trying to understand for the next map. Okay, so you understand except the people that I'm speaking about. Okay, so there's a relationship here, right? There's this relationship here with Oklahoma, with evidence. There's evidence, and the evidence is with Tiffany. It was with Tiffany. And then we've got the missing event, wake up call with somebody from the past, St. Joan of Arc Catholic Church. We got Big C's Cafe in Elkhart. But anyway, that's where they were found is right here. I had a big hot spot right here. I had 4 hot spots, but this is where they were found. And the only reason why I had a hot spot here is because Oklahoma was shining here, and I saw Oklahoma in the missing event chart, and there was information that was coming here in the 7th house. So had I kept mapping, the missing green lines would have been right there too. What really sealed the deal for me is I looked up Tiffany's associates and I found Tad. And when I found Tad and I put him right there, and he's right there where Oklahoma shines, it was a slam dunk. I knew that he was a part of it. So that's the way that I investigate with charts, with maps. And that is where I feel like if I were to move away from that, then I'm going to be lost in trying to figure out where somebody could be found. My main goal, right, is to figure out where somebody could be found. If there's any science to be found, I want to find it. I don't really care if somebody else finds it. I just want it to be found. And I'm trying to learn it better so I can teach it better. Okay. Are y'all following me so far? So that's the difference between the different charts. But if I move off of the investigation from the missing event, from the natal, when I tell you guys that things are happening with the natal chart, I'm not looking at a perfection year. I'm not looking at a solar return chart. I'm looking at your chart. I'm looking at the natal chart. I'm looking at the natal chart right now, right this moment. A lot of people are invested in Sebastian Rogers' case right now. There is a lot of discussion, a lot of chatter about an old video. Mob Crew did it. Um, Cliff Notes did it way back when. Cliff Notes did it, and then somebody sent it to Mob Crew. Okay, and so it's at the Portland City Lake, Portland City Lake, right? Right. So if I were to think about this in an investigative standpoint, let me show you because this matters to me. My work centers around not predicting things so much as trying to find and locate a person. So if we look at Sebastian's map, let me turn off all of this, turn off all of this, and let's go exactly to that address right here. This is the address that Mob Crew was showing. Okay. This is the address that Mob Crew was showing right here. If we were to take everything off but the natal, we're going to find a conjunction here. This conjunction with the natal, not a perfection, not a solar return, Sebastian's natal. Vesta in Aries is right here. There is a reigniting of a flame that it will extinguish and then it gets reignited. That's what I mean by a reigniting of a flame. It goes out, then we come back to it. It'll go out, we come back to it. This is in the 5th house of Sebastian's natal chart, the one that he was born with in Georgia. And it's next to this is Vesta, this is Eris. So the goddess of war and strife is right here. And this conjunction is coming right here where Mob Crew is talking about, that he's talking about. Okay. Now, watch this. Let me pull up the natal. Let me pull up the transits right now. Let me stop it. Now, let me show. Let me bring up Sebastian's chart. Oh, let me show you. This is a school is in. School is in, guys. Watch this. This is my work that I'm so passionate about, that I work day in and day out, and I have for years, trying to get better. I'm only going to get better. The more that you work on something and try to perfect a craft, you may not ever get it perfect. You may not ever master it, but you're going to get better. I don't think that we'll ever master anything, but there's always hope, right? So here is Sebastian's chart. This is the conjunction I'm talking about, that's in transit right now, because that is what is being talked about. That's what we can see. The 2950, the 2046. Sebastian is 17. He'll be 18, missing out of Hendersonville, Tennessee, right? So this 2950 is right here. The flame of life, the 2950 is right here. That is exactly where Chiron is right this moment in the sky from where he went missing. So let's go back right here. Exactly right here. Airport Road. Airport Road is going over DZ Lane, Airport Road. And you see that there's an airport here. Vesta, the flame of life. People will say, oh, she's the hearth and home. She keeps the fires burning at home. No, no, what I've seen is that she will reignite something, and we'll just keep coming back to it, keep coming back to it. This property, this car that they've been talking about is right here with the Secret Service. Right here. With their lunar nodes, their south node in Aries. Aries is about a vehicle. Aries rules Mars, Mars rules Aries. Aries is vehicle. It's the body. There's the TBI, right? Then we've got the FBI. This is a Bower socks. And again, what I said last night, what I'm going to say again, this is Cassie Proudfoot. This is Daniel Bower socks right here by Portland City Lake. Okay. This is the reason why it's so important for me to maintain myself. And I've told, um, I've told different people that there are certain ways that I do things, and it may not be the way that other people do it, and that's okay. It's okay that we do things different. I just don't. My time is so limited. It's absolutely so limited. Let's look at other things that are happening right now with Sebastian, not with Sebastian's solar return, not with any other chart, but his natal chart. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. What else can we see? Okay, so we know that there is a relationships, the pain with the reigniting of the flame of life. There's pain there. Chiron, if we were to look at what the data says for Chiron, you suffer with broken relationships, feeling rejection with your partner. You may later teach your partner. I don't think that that's exactly what's going on. It says you may physically suffer head wounds. Let's say that Sebastian was given something and he knocked out. That's a head wound too, guys. A head wound is also if you are given something or you take something and you get a little dizzy, that can be a head wound too. It doesn't mean that he actually hit his head when I say a head wound on that map. All right. So the other thing that I want to show you something is there is an activation. There is an activation in Sebastian's chart. This is phenomenal to me. Jupiter right now is at a 2658. 2658, there's an expansion with public image, and it is activating the dark moon in the first house of Sebastian Rogers. It's activating where he's been before, things of the past. And could things of the past be a fire? Could it be flight? Could it be flight? Let's look and see. Because I guarantee you right now, I know these transits in Jupiter right now is squaring up with Chiron. So this means that his natal chart, his natal is being activated with a square. So we can look at it two ways. We can go, okay, the transits are squared up right there. We could go to a 26 or the 25 Vulcanus in the eighth house. Okay, we could get a clue there. We could also look at it like this. This 2538 is squaring Vesta. We can also look at it like that. Okay. So let's go to the Vulcanus. Okay. Let's go to the Vulcanus because we see right now that is taking place. Or we could go, okay, the 2658 is being activated. You know what makes me think, oh wow, that's a trip because, well, what does an airport rule? Well, for me, an airport is Sag, and that's where the dark moon is reflecting with an expansion of home. The dark moon is reflecting with an expansion of home. Or is it the new construction area? Is it his home? Let's go. Let's look at this. Let me turn off all of this right now. Okie dokie. Actually, I'm going to leave that natal on so we can look at where the 25 degree is. I got the addresses off, but that one. Okay, so we're going to look at the 25, the Vulcanus. It's right here. Okay, so the Vulcanus right here, I've got that it's in a good standing. It's in a trine with Uranus and Pisces. So the Uranus and Pisces was being activated when he went missing. This, if he was at a home or in a neighborhood, this is where he could be found, according to the square that's taking place right now. But this is a Pisces. So that area right here and this one right here is squaring up. There's a square here. Do y'all understand? So even though I don't have that angle, that geometric angle in this chart, I've got it being in a good standing with Uranus because I knew that Uranus was in transit when he went missing. That degree, everything was with Hygeia. So I wanted to put it here rather than the square. I wanted to conjunct these two because they're both in the fifth house. So, like, say that, um, there was any type of park, any type of, the fifth house is, that's playful. It's very playful, right? But for him, it's not. It's actually not. Let's go back down. Let's look into the neighborhood. Let's look into the neighborhood because if we look at it from this point of view, then we're going over Devoncourt right here. We're going right here over Devoncourt. This would be where there is a possible head wound on Devoncourt. And I'm not looking at it from any other point of view but that natal. And the reason why, this is the reason why, is because I've been doing it for years and it works when I work it and when I can get other people to work it with me. But it doesn't work when I'm the only one working it. I can't be the only one, the sole person. That's why I absolutely loved it when Seth and Tony followed the map. I loved it when Crabtree was following the map. I absolutely do, because it shows us that the way that I am working it works. However, if I were to use a perfection or a solar return, all it's going to do is confuse matters because I map. So I can't use those type of systems. I can't use those. We could test it, like we could test it. But what I just showed you guys is phenomenal. You can't get any better than that. You absolutely cannot get any better than that. We are seeing degrees that are coming together, that are telling a story, that there is a challenge with pain, with relationships, with vehicles, with family, with this darkness. There is an expansion here because I teach the way that I learn, the way that I learned. And that is with degrees because I started noticing that degrees in our chart literally matter in the state of matter. And I started to teach myself that. And now I'm teaching other people that. And I think it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Right now, I can see that there is a shakeup going on with Arizona and their connection with Vladimir. Remember, we were talking about this chart already. We're already talking about it. We've been talking about when it comes back to natal, not his solar return, not a perfection, his natal, and where it is that we're talking about with Mob Crew is right here, right there with that fifth house. You can't get any better than that. It is phenomenal, phenomenal. When Veronica, let's go back to Veronica again. Let me pull them up because I want you guys to see how and why it is that I look for states and I talk about states and countries is because when let's pull up Jill and Veronica. So an hour before, an hour before is when I'm sorry, Veronica, shit, I think it was Veronica, I think. Veronica left her home. Oh, hold on. Where's it at? She left her home at 8:40 a.m. Okay. She leaves her home at 8:40 a.m. That dark moon is coming into the fifth house of kids, right? So let's watch it. It's coming into the fifth house of kids. It's a 1955 in Virgo. I'm about to show y'all why it is that I look at, and I could look at all of these maps that I've created all day and show you guys why I do it the way that I do it. Now something has begun. Ooh, y'all see that? Okay, now watch. This Libra point is going to come into, look at that. It's critical. We got critical. This is a critical time at 9:10. There is something going to begin and end here with a dark moon, a relationship. There's going to be major transformation and a lot of attention. Watch this. Something is about to end, begin and end. We're at a world point right there. Boom. At 9:12 a.m., things are not good. It's a critical time for the two moms, for the two women. Critical. Now watch this. Watch this. So from 8:40 to 9:40, watch this. Now, if I pull up, because they were found in Oklahoma, right? They're found in Oklahoma. Now watch. Not Oklahoma's return chart. No, we are looking at Oklahoma's chart. Watch this. They have a wisdom in their chart. Wisdom. This wisdom is in 1955 in the ninth house. Who was with them? Remember, she's a social worker with the courts. With the courts. This is the courts. The wisdom of Oklahoma, the 1955. So immediately I wanted to look in Oklahoma for these women. And then as soon as I found, absolutely as soon as I found out that Tad lived in Oklahoma, oh, it was a slam dunk. Absolutely slam dunk. They weren't found on that 19 degree. You know, they weren't found there. Let me show you. I didn't even draw it in because once I found Tad, it was over. I'm always looking at associates. I've looked at everybody in Sebastian's case. I've looked at everybody. They're all on the map. That's why there's so many people on Sebastian's map, is because even associates and associates of associates are on Sebastian's map. But this was in line with where the car ended up being found. But I found Tad on day one. I found him on day one. This is where Oklahoma shines. It's their 11th house of groups. This is where they shine. I didn't map. You can see that I didn't put in Kansas. No, because I knew that I was going to have to map Oklahoma because they were going to be the ones to find, it was going to be in their jurisdiction. It was just a gnosis, right? Not every case is like that, but we can see that the moon had already crossed over their Venus. The moon had already crossed over their Venus. They are shining at a 23 degree. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing the 1911 and the 2309. The other thing that I noticed wasn't just the 1955, but I also noticed that there was a teaching. The teaching was going to Oklahoma. So when this was taking place, the 1911 had just been activated in that fifth house. It had just been activated in the fifth house. Sorry, I just got another text. Um, it's got me all discombobulated again. I can't read your text, Shauna. I'll have to read it later. You'll have to go back and look at everything that I was saying. I know that the perfection year isn't the only one. You'll have to go back and listen to my live. You'll understand what I was saying, I think, better. The other thing I noticed was this 912. This 912 was activating during the ambush at 940, I remember this, that Astria she was in the 11th house, and this is about the pew pew, possible burial, but definitely pew pew. Yeah, either way, the perfection, all of that, the solar returns, it's not going to help me find anybody. That's really what I'm trying to explain to everybody, is that it's not going to help me with the mapping. I mean, I've just shown it. I've just shown why it doesn't, and it doesn't help with mapping or finding anyone. And it definitely, just because Sebastian is 17 and he allegedly doesn't have the same ascendant, and he doesn't have this and that and the other. That degree is what I'm going by. We can look at the 1523 and go, "Oh, okay. That's definitely Chris." we can keep looking at the different charts and go, okay, that's definitely Chris. But it's not going to tell us where Sebastian's at. It's not going to tell us what happened to him. It's not going to tell us, okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at this. So they were ambushed. Hold on. Let's just say that because they were found. Okay, let me show you when they were found. And we'll talk about this. If we're using this missing event as a solar missing event, okay? Or whatever. I just found it a very big waste of my time. So Jillian is missing here. Let's do that. And that's when they leave. And then they're found. Where were they found? April 14th. Okay. This would be perfect because this is showing exactly. This will show exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. So missing and found. Okay. So Jillian leaves her house. Or was it Veronica? Damn it. Which one left where? Jillian and Veronica. Leave at 8:45 a.m. Veronica and Jillian left Kansas approximately driving to okay. So this is where they left at 8:45 a.m. Okay. So they leave here at 8:45 a.m. Okay. If we were to take this missing event as the 613, we're rising at a 613. They were found April 14th. So they would go missing on March 30th. April 30th, this would be when they are found. This is when they're found. Okay, but they weren't found on a or this is the month. This is the month that they are found. They're not found in this month. They're not found in the third month. They're not found in the fourth month. They're not found in the fifth month with Oklahoma. It's totally discombobulating what I do. So I am looking at it from this point of view. This is when they go missing. Where are they? Where can I find them? So it takes a lot more than just looking at a chart and mapping, right? We got to put associates, we got to put a lot of time and effort into just looking at the investigation itself. But let's just say that this month, the April 14th, right? So it's right here. That's where it's going to be found. This is where they're found in the first month. There's Jupiter. We're learning. But see, guess what? That's exactly what's happening at the moment that they go missing. At the moment that they go missing, this is what is happening. It's not next month. If we were to look at it like that, okay, well, we could say, well, they were found in the seventh house of relationships. Yeah, yeah. They were found in the seventh house of relationships. The seventh house of relationships right here. But this is the line that they were found on. So this would be to April 30th. So we could go March, April, May, June, July, August, September, but they weren't found in September. See what I'm saying? So this is just really nothing that I really want to investigate with because I feel like I'm wasting my time even right now. It's really not going to get me anywhere. If I see that it could get me somewhere, or if somebody could show me after somebody is found how this worked itself out in hindsight, oh my God, like bring it to me. Send it to me. I mean, I'm all about it. All about it. But I do see where I go back and I look at these cases when they're found. whether it be days later, like we could go back to Ethan, who was found in the bunker. It's still not going to show us where he was found. Still not where he was found. Here, let me just get you on panel, Shauna, because I can't. I you can come up here and explain it. I'll show you the chart and let's get it. Let's get it. Let's just figure this out. Just come on up here. I can't read your text, babe. They're too long and I can't read them while I know what you're talking about. I know the difference between a perfection and a solar return. I just showed it on here. You weren't in here, but come on up. Help us, Lord God. Yeah, just stay on the track. I'm all over the place. Me me and Trisha was talking about this the other night. It's so easy because like your chat will get ahead of you, or you'll get texts and stuff when you're on live, and it's hard to maintain. So if you want to, just come up here. Just come up here and tell me instead. I can't text you. I'm trying to read. That's not I was sharing. You don't do month to month with the event. Well, I mean, if they're found in the month, you have to do it like that way. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, girl. If they're found within the month, you have to do it like that. If you're going to use a chart to do it, you got to do it the same way. Or you could go day to day. I mean, the boy in the bunker, Ethan, you would have to go day to day in that first house where he was found. If you were to do it like that, either way, it doesn't work for mapping. It doesn't work for my type of investigation. That's all I'm saying. It's all I'm saying is that if I were to try to do that and get caught up in something like that, everything is lost. All the work, all that I've done, all the studies that I've done. Now I'm implementing something else that is taking up my time, but I want to see that it works first. Like, show me. I'll pull up the chart. You can jump on panel. I'll pull up the chart and you can tell me what you're talking about using Veronica and Jillian, using these different maps that I've got that people have been found as, as a test thing, a little test thing. We can test it and we can look at the charts because if I am blindsided, I want to see where I'm blindsided. I'm open, but I can't, um, oh, hey, Krista, good to see you, babe. We see from the event chart, you can get the energy from other charts, especially if the degrees you teach match. It's another layer method like transits to see where everyone's energy is. But I can see that every day. I see that every day. I see that every day in the charts. See what I'm saying? If we were to look at Sebastian's, for example, instead of us looking for him in that fifth house, that it's really in the fourth house. Unless we did a Hellenistic chart, we're going to look at not the fifth house where Jupiter is, but in the fourth house where Venus is in transit. That's how we would look at Sebastian. But I've already noticed that Venus is already, but actually, Venus is not transiting in his fourth house. Venus is transiting in his ninth house. So I can't, I can't make it work with the maps. Do y'all understand? Does anybody else understand? Am I the only one? Like, I feel like I'm having such a hard time trying to show like what I'm talking about. I don't think that I'm having a hard time showing it. Anybody want to take the link? Does anybody understand what I'm doing here? Anyone? Okay, Jill understands. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So, Jill, you are understanding. Do you want to take the link and tell us what you're understanding, or you prefer not to? You probably be like, nope, nope. Does anybody want to take the link and tell me how you are understanding it? Because when we look at, okay, let me show you this. Hold on. Oh, let me show you. Let me pull up Sebastian's. Let me pull up Sebastian's, and I can maybe we can get on a 10. Let's do, okay, she wanted it from the Texas Roadhouse. We can look at it from the Texas Roadhouse or the Thump. A lot of astrologers would say the Thump is the most important, not leaving the Texas Roadhouse. I have 2 times with Sebastian missing, I believe, which is 10. No, actually, I've got 3. I've got 10, 1:36, 1:26 a.m. Hold on, no. Hold on. Return. I got a gazillion charts for this boy. Let's see. 10 p.m. Let's look at it this way. Look at it this way. The 10 p.m. The 10 p.m. The solar return would be in Hendersonville. It would be 2026. Again, I'm seeing Oklahoma, just like I was seeing Oklahoma when he went missing. I'm seeing the 15. Oh, shit. Yeah, Shauna, come up on panel, honey. God dang, I swear to God, help me, Lord. Okay, let me just read her text because she's not coming up here. And what you're saying right now was not what I was sharing with you. My apologies for not explaining it further. Shauna, come up here and explain it. Please don't talk on the month to month because you aren't calculating it correct. You're using the event as a month to month. Please stop talking on it because what you're seeing, if you're applying this method, what I shared with you, incorrect. Of course, you aren't going to see it because what you're showing is not the method. Don't dishonor it. What are you talking about? Jesus, help me, God, Lord. Look, communication makes for a good relationship. If we've got good communication, we got a good relationship. If we don't, then it's not going to work out. I have come live. I am showing and I'm teaching exactly the way perfection is, the way that solar returns are, and using it going month by month, going year by year. We could go day by day. There's all kinds of ways to do it. The ancient way is Hellenistic, using whole houses. If you want to explain anything else, if anybody in the astrology world wants to come up here and talk to me about this, please do. Please. I mean, this is giving me anxiety trying to go back and forth to text and here and this and that. I mean, just come up here. Please, Shauna. You either explain it. What I was told, what how she explained it to me earlier, the way that she wanted me to look at it was the exact way, and I was like, "Well, damn. I mean, I know how to exactly do that." You make it as a standalone chart once you create the solar return. This is the Texas Roadhouse event solar return. That's what I just showed you guys. Go month by month. Start at the ascendant, being February 25th, 2026. Second house is March. That's what I was doing. It's exactly what I'm doing. How am I dishonoring this method? That is not a personal method. This is a method that's been used many, many times over. I don't understand. I absolutely don't understand. And I'm begging for understanding. So if we look at the Texas Roadhouse, that's going to be a 653. which I've already shown you guys that already. 6:53 a.m. No, 6:53. Here we go. 6:53. Here we go. Minute. We're going to get it right there to the 6:53. Boom. Okay. So we're rising in Aquarius. She's got a different ascendant than I do. And she's not using whole houses, so she's got the ascendant the way that I do. She's got Mars at a 2559. Okay, no biggie. She may be using maybe a different type of system, like Brady or something like that. Okay. All right. Y'all with me? She's not going to come and take a link. I wish she would so she could just explain it instead of being so sensitive. Me and her are both in transit right now. I mean, just come on, girl. This is a great time for other people to learn what we're doing, what we're talking about. So we're going to take this as a standalone chart. And what she is saying is that we are going to go from this is February. This is what she is saying. That's what I just explained. Y'all tell me if what y'all tell me if I'm explaining it, if I explained it different. Be honest. Okay. So this is the ascendant. So this is February. Second house is March 25th. Actually, it shouldn't be like that because this is, well, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So this would be March 25th, April 25th, May 25th, June 25th. So we are right here in the fourth house. We have not made it into the fifth house yet. We are here with communications and we're reflecting. We're reflecting on that 2420 that is again Oklahoma. Oklahoma. So did I do it right? I thought that that's how I was explaining it. That's exactly how I was explaining it. Come up here, girl. Stop texting me. No, we're not doing that. No, ma'am, no ham. I use solar fire. I use solar fire. So is that not the same way that I just explained it? And I think that it's because she came in at the time late. All right, let me turn my phone. I'm pretty sure that that's the way I was explaining it. And I'm sorry, I did not think that it was going to be all discombobulated. I thought I was going to be able to show you guys how I work, what it is that is going to bring people home, and it's not all of this other stuff. Not for me. Not for me. Not for me. And I hate that, she's getting upset with me, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I explained it just how she explained it in the text. So this is where we are. We're in the fourth house right here. This is the month by month. Even though she also said don't go by month, I'm not sure what she's talking about. I know that she uses a standalone chart. This is a standalone chart. I can definitely see where if this is the case, the next month there should be a major opposition with Chris Proudfoot and the TBI. Major, major. Because this Jupiter would be at a square with his Eris right here. It's the same degree. So this means that next month he should be in a major opposition with the TBI, with the relationship with the TBI. I tell you one thing too. We just talked about this 2558. I'm pretty sure in Oklahoma's chart. That 2420 was in transit when he went missing. Yep. 2558. The Mars is a 2558 with her standalone chart. The 2420 standalone chart with the exact time from the Texas Roadhouse. So if we look on Sebastian's map, yeah, I thought, I thought I was explaining exactly how she told me to. Okay, let's go to Sebastian's chart. And let's look at Oklahoma. We've already done this. I mean, we've done this a gazillion times. Looking at Oklahoma's chart. This is the Pluto in Capricorn conjunct dark moon. So the dark moon, right? This is where we are reflecting with Jupiter, with the dark moon, with that 2658. So if we were to think about it like that and go back and look at his missing event, here's the 10 p.m. solar. This is, well, no, let me take it back. Don't want to do it like that. Sebastian missing. I want to show you what I'm talking about. Let's just look at it. Let's just look at one of these. I've got the 1:36 a.m. because that was when the absolute major opposition was in transit with Sebastian. And I want you to see something. The 2420 is right here. It's with Eris, it's the goddess of war and strife. It's at 1:36 a.m. This is when I see that the moon is in an opposition at the same exact degree with Neptune. I see that there is a relationship that is activating Sebastian's chart with Tennessee and um, myself, or we could say that this 7-Eleven is Mexico. This is Mexico, or we could say that it is the 344 is also Israel. We got the 344 right here. And that's what I do, you know? So if we looked at it as a layered chart, okay, and I look at this time, because we don't know exactly what time Sebastian went missing to get to the exact solar. But if we look at the exact opposition of a 7-Eleven, then that's going to, of course, make this month by month, day by day, year by year different. It'll make it so different, right? So let's say that it's 7-Eleven. Okay, and instead of 6:53, we're going to the 7-Eleven. Then that's gonna make it different. See, it's going to change the houses. So, I personally that is the reason why I don't do it, and so when people ask me, "What are you talking about? Why" that's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to perfection and solar returns. We can do a solar return on an event chart. We can do it the same exact way. But for me, if I'm just reading you, we could be, we could be fancy and stuff like that. We could do stuff like that. We could do it, we could even do it like this. I could pull up Sebastian. I could do a dynamic. I could do transits and progressions. I could do all of that. I can print it out. I can send it to Sebastian. He can see the data. But I actually prefer to, and we can see the data with his interpretation. So the full chart, we can get a full report chart. And so we can look at the Solar Fire's interpretations. We can look at Stephanie Johnson, what she's been saying. We can look at this and we can look at the balance of the signs. We can look at the balance of the elements. We can see that fire is strong. that he has an inability to cope with more mundane activities in life. Here's the thing for me. Here's the thing for me. If I wanted to get a clue, okay, let's say that I wanted to get a clue from this Texas Roadhouse, or let's just say this thump. If I just wanted to get a clue with the thump, well, I can get a clue because there's a justice here. I know Katie's chart, even though I don't know what time she's born. I'm pretty sure that her Astria is a 2231, and I can get a clues, right? I can get clues. I can see where, like I said, the 2420 was in transit, and I'm thinking about Oklahoma with it. I can try to get a clue. I can look at different degrees and try to get a clue. I can go, okay, there's an expansion with communications with Chris and he's pissed off. Maybe it's with his mama, maybe it's with his home, maybe it's with the neighbors, maybe, who knows? I see that, there's this opposition. And if I take Sebastian, hold on, what was I going to do? What was I doing here? Oh, if I take Sebastian and we go back to let's say the chart that Shauna was really she was looking at last night during my live. And she was looking at this chart and she was talking about the 1523, right? Because remember, we couldn't figure out why she was saying the 15, or I couldn't figure out why she was saying the 1523. So let's go back. Shit, I thought I had it up. Texas Roadhouse. Okay, the Texas Roadhouse is 653. Let's go back. So the 653, you got to get it right to that sun degree. And if we take it and we look at it like this, okay, right? Okay, so we look at it one more time like this and we go, okay, this is February 25th, March 25th, April 25th. Okay, February, March, April, May. So we haven't gotten to the June 25th just yet. Once we get to the 25th, and this is the reason why Hellenistic astrology is better when you're doing it like this, because then you can see the whole signs. You can see exactly which house it's landing in. I think that's why Hellenistic prefers doing when we're looking at a chart like this, it would be ideal. Maybe not. Anyway, this fourth house of home right here, we can look at it like this. February 25th, 2026. This would be the return of when he left the roadhouse. Here's the fourth house of home. Some astrologers would say end of matter. We could look at it from all kind of different ways of looking at this and reading it. Communications, cousins, siblings. I see Oklahoma. I see a lot of problems with Chris on this day. It's not coming. It's here. It's here on this day, on February 25th, 2026, for me. Okay, we could go, okay, well, if we look at it like this, we can go, okay, oh, well, the 913. Let's look at that. Let's go back because I want y'all to remember something. When I was looking, and this is the reason why I've pulled up Jillian's chart, is because Oklahoma has been on my target list for quite some time since Sebastian went missing. So the lunar nodes are a 913, right? They're a 913 in that chart that I was just showing you. Sebastian has 2046 in his chart. I have got all kinds of I've got all kinds of addresses in Oklahoma. Hey honey, I'm live. I know. Look at my gorgeous son. Yeah, he calls me every day at this time. He's walking to get his coffee. I think that he could be in Oklahoma, Barb. I think I'm gonna show you guys. Jill said, "Hey Jody."
Hey,
Everybody's like, "Hey Joe."
hey everybody.
I'm trying to show a way that Shauna does it, and she's getting mad at me. She's like, "I'm not saying it." Well, I mean, I'm asking her to come up on panel. Tell me, Shauna, if you're in the bushes, just come up here. Talk to us. Tell me what I'm not doing right. Jeff said, "Hey Jody."
Who did?
Jeff, he's in chat.
Jeff.
Well, do you want to talk about anything important? Well, I know not while I'm on live, but I didn't know. Well, text me.
All right. Look,
I love you. Bye. Him so handsome. Oh my God. I know. I'm saying. He does. Sorry, guys. All right. I'm thinking I need a brew now. This is starting to be a little hectic. So if we look at the chart, okay, when we look at Oklahoma, we know that when Sebastian went missing, that there were things going on in Oklahoma. Okay. I forget, y'all can't see me. There were things going on in Oklahoma. We do know that there are multiple charts. The 1928, Uranus was in transit with that. Sebastian has the 2046. His step grandfather, Michael Proudfoot, has a 342 that also goes to California. So the weight with the second house is the TBI. The 948 could totally be Katie. I just don't know what time she's born. So that is where we could look at it and go, okay, is the 2420 showing up just because? Is it showing up, is it connecting to this chart for something else? Is there a relationship that, that is in Oklahoma that we need to be, looking at a little bit more? I know, Jeff. I know it, babe. Is that but here it is. And then if I turn on my addresses and I just go down into Oklahoma, I can see where this method could give you clues. But I've looked at different kinds of charts trying to get different clues. And as you can see, there's the Mercury that there's going to be the dark moon is going to come this way. The dark moon is right here. She's transiting right through here with Sebastian. She's coming directly to his Mercury. Okay. She is directly coming to this Mercury right here. You see all of these with Oklahoma? We can turn on the missing, turn on the TBI, turn on the FBI. You can see that there's things going on in Oklahoma. I think this is Oklahoma too. It's Oklahoma. This is the dark moon. So the dark moon return is coming right here. Right here. Right here. So yeah, I think that we could look at it and get clues. I think that we could get clues. We can get clues when I do different charts. So different charts, like, let me show you. God, where am I at? I can pull up different types of charts. I can do a harmonic chart, the return, the ingress. I can do all kinds of different charts. I can even do this. It says Vedic, but it really doesn't do a good Vedic chart. I can do that. We can do all kinds of different ways. We can look at the zodiac and we can go to different houses. We can do Vedic, we can do draconic, or draconic. We can do the different houses, the different house systems. We can go whole signs, ascendant on first, meridian. We can look at the meridians. We can look at the south node on the first. We can look at all kinds of different charts. There are so many ways in which we can do and use the tool of astrology. We don't have to box ourselves in, and I think that that's something that, maybe sometimes people think that I do. Maybe they think that I box myself in, but I looked at all different ways that I have looked at all different ways that I can investigate a case. And when I'm looking at the charts, I've got to be able to map it. And I got to be able to show you guys on the map what is in transit and how it is activating in a big way, just like what is happening with Sebastian's. Okay. So, Mob Crew is going off of Cliff Notes. The Cliff Notes is not like Cliff Notes, it's like the Cliff Notes channel. So Mob Crew is going off of that channel, looking at this address in Portland. That is where there's a square right now with the things that are hidden at home with Sebastian and the Chiron that is reigniting a flame. There's a reigniting of a pain right there. And it is also expanding, activating Sebastian's chart with the dark moon. So if we look at the chart with the dark moon, that's where the return is coming. That's why I did a whole video on it. I work from the time that I wake up. This is my work. I've been doing it for years. I wake up, this is what I do until I'm done. And usually I'm not done until late at night and I'm going to sleep. Late to me is 10, 11. I'm not just, learning how to do this. I try to show you guys every day what I'm doing. And I so appreciate everybody that supports this method, that supports the work, that listens to me and helps me in all the different ways that you guys help. Whether it's, coming together, coming to Tennessee. Jill drives hours. She has driven hours to come to help us search. Trisha has. That means a lot to me. Like, y'all are true to your word, to your heart center. We can't just talk about it. We got to be about it. A lot of times people will just talk about it and they're not being about it. But you guys have shown that you're about it. Some people can't afford to. They got kids at home. They can't do it. And guys, I understand. I totally understand why you can't. You know? Thank you, Witchy Mama. Sorry it got a little hairy. Um, hey Trisha, good to see you. Hey Barb. Yeah, so this method was showing you guys the astrology from day to day and showing you how it's expressing itself. And we can even look at that where Jupiter's at. Jupiter is expanding. there in his 8th house. And Jupiter is going to come to that 9th house. We could say, if we're using this method that I was showing you guys before, we could say, well, Jupiter is in that 5th house. Well, if that's the case, because Jupiter is there, we should see a lot take place next month with Chris Proudfoot, possibly an arrest. And we just got to test it out. We got to look at it. I've looked at different cases in hindsight. I don't see it, but we're going to test it. We're going to watch it. We're going to see how it expresses itself with Sebastian's case, because that's all we can do. You know, why fix something that's not broken? And that's one of my big mottos. Why would we fix something that's not broken? If what I'm doing is working, why am I trying to fix, manage, and control something and make it do something else? Why not just do what I'm doing? How about you learn what I'm doing? How about y'all learn what I'm doing? If you want me to learn what you're doing, show me. Explain it to me. Good communication. You know, I can't, I'm not I mean, I know that I'm an astrologer, but I'm not a mind reader. I can't do these layers by myself. I mean, I can, but you know, it does take the law enforcement, it takes the parents, it takes people in the know of it, you know, and that's something else. With Sebastian's case, there's so much that we don't even know. There is so much that we don't even know, that I think that has transpired, that we have no clue. They haven't even came out and told us. That's what I think by looking at the transits. I learned slowly but surely too. And there's nothing wrong with that, because being slow and taking your time, that's what's going to stand the test of time, I think. Rushing through it and trying to, you know, rush through things is not a good way to learn. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have the time, you don't have the time. I totally understand. I totally understand. It does take a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of work, takes a lot of mental agility. And you have to be in you have to be in a clear state of mind for sure. And focusing, like focus. Y'all see how I get when people get me off focus. I get all messed up in the head. I'll be receiving texts. What? You got all messed up. Yeah, no, that's why I don't look at chat. I try not to look at chat when I'm working, because if I look at chat and I'm working, I'm like, hold on, why are we going off of this? And then I start getting irritated because now I'm not focused. And then y'all are going to feel that. And you're going to sense it. And you're like, damn, Jennifer got messed up. She's got to go. Oh my God. Yeah, slow and steady wins the race every time. Every time. You know, the different ways that we can read a chart. There is nothing wrong with Hellenistic. I think that Profection should be with the Hellenistic. I think that it just makes more sense, but I don't prefer Hellenistic astrology, so I don't use it. You know, it's okay. I'm not mad at people that do. I still watch people that do Vedic astrology. I still listen to their forecasts. I still try to learn what Vedic astrology. Still try if you know, if I've got time, but I'm not going to map somebody using Vedic astrology. What I'm doing is working. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to change it. I'm looking for the science with this until my dying breath. That's what I'm going to do. I made a commitment when I first began, and I'm going to stick to that commitment. Yeah, when I'm focused, yeah, I can follow myself when I'm focused. But when I get out of whack, that's why I was like, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just not going to read chat while I'm working. Because if I don't read chat, it's not that I'm not wanting to pay attention to you guys, because I do want to pay attention. I want to see what y'all are saying. I'm nosy like that. But at the same time, if I do, then I may get sidetracked and then totally lose everything. And then it's like, okay, bye guys. I'm done. Oh gosh. Me and Trisha was talking about that the other night. It's like when chat gets off of what you're focused on, then you get off of what you're focused on, and then the show ends up not even being what you planned on it being, right? And I think that as a host, as someone that says, "Hey, we're gonna do this type of live," this is what, I want us to focus on. And, anybody that wants to, come up here and talk to me about the way that you learn, the way that I'm always open. I'm always open. And I think great discussions is how we learn. Great discussions. But if you're not discussing, I don't know. I've also got another saying, a closed mouth don't get fed. If you want something, you need to ask for it. If you want a certain thing, then you need to ask for it. If you don't, then that's your problem because you didn't ask. It's not good when somebody messes up your focus. Mm-mm. And that's for all of us. Jen gets festered up when she gets off topic. She plans and researches for hours and hours before you see her live. That's right. That's exactly right. I want to make sure that I am being a good host for you guys. Sometimes I get up here and I'm like, "Oh, it's an astrology chat." People that have been following me for years, like April and Jill, y'all know, you're Jeff. I mean, if I do an astrology chat, we're winging it. We're just looking at the astrology, we're intuitively reading it, and we're looking to see what all is we can see in the news that we're reading, and that is how we learn. Hands on. I could show you these books. Look. Oh shoot. I could show you these books. This is the book that I have of astrology. Shauna got me a rulership book, but what is a book going to teach you really? What's really going to teach you is hands-on. That's what's really going to teach you is hands-on astrology. When you can see it and you can apply it and you can do it, that's what's going to teach you. Get you a big whiteboard. Before I got my astrology software, I had an astrology board. I had 2 whiteboards. Actually, I had no, that was after. Never mind. I got my software and then I got a board because I don't know which one was first because I was writing about magnetic fields. That's why I got my board because I was writing about magnetic fields of the earth and I could see things that were coming. I was having a lot of intuitive hits. I was having a lot of visionary gnosis stuff. It was when I was going through my Chiron return and it was wild. I was really receiving a lot of information all at once. And so I ended up getting a board. And that board, I've even got a video that doesn't have any sound that is on that's on YouTube. It doesn't have sound to it, but that what y'all see on the video is what I was writing on the board. And I was putting it with like Kronos, Rhea. I was doing uh, the Olympians, the Titans, and I was just all of that was the reason why I was like, I've got to get a software. I've got to get a software. I've got to learn how to apply what I know with the mythology, with the software. And it was a wild time in my life, man. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. And when we go through our returns, sometimes they can be crazy, like the Chiron return, Saturn return, dark moon return. I'm That dark moon return for Sebastian it's on its way. It's on its way and it's in his first house. So I'm really anxious, I guess is the best word to use to see how this is going to work itself out for him. You don't have room for a board, but I took a 3-ring binder and have a section for each house, planet, ruler. Yeah, I can see that. Um, yeah, you can like I do the tarot with it. The houses, like the House of Dan, Levites. We could do flowers, right? We could do flowers and people have attached names. Oh, this is a Virgo name. This is a Leo name. This is that. Um, People attach names, they attach numbers. And, we can just, I think that there's never going to be everything that we know and learn and understand about astrology. For me anyway, I don't think I will. But I do think that if I keep on it and keep doing what works for me, I am going to be able to see the science behind, if there is any science, because I haven't found it yet. It's random. Everything is random. I could say, okay, well, then the next time that somebody goes missing in Oklahoma, Oklahoma's going to shine and Oklahoma's going to find him. But that's not the case, is it? Because there's still many people missing in Oklahoma. That's not the case every time. It just so happened that everything was falling into place exactly the way it was meant to for them to be found because it was fated. That's the way I look at it. I look at it that it was fated for them to be found exactly where they was found. It was fated for me to know that that was the first address I pulled. Besides Tiffany's, I put Tiffany's address, then I saw Tad. I was like, mm, hmm. Tad's right there where they shine, right where Tiffany is, and it's on the same line. That when they ended up finding their car, it's on the same line. The pew pew, you can see that in the chart with the Sag energy. You can see that fiery energy firing off in their chart. So if we were to look at it like that with their chart, then we're not even gonna get past the first month because the first month is when they went missing, right? So March 30th and then April 30th, that first house would have been going on this other method would have been that first house. So you wouldn't have gotten to the second. It would have been, the bunker boy would have been days. You would have still been in that first house. For me, I don't know. I think I'm gonna stick exactly where I'm at. But I wanted to show you guys how I tested it out and how I've tested out this method that I'm doing because it is sacred to me. It is sacred to me. If it wasn't so sacred to me and I didn't map the Chiron and I didn't map Vesta, I didn't map Vulcanus and the co-ascendant and the polar ascendant, I've seen where people are found on their natal polar ascendant. That's why I map it. That's why I map the way that I do because I've seen it in hindsight. And I've got over 400 maps now. So, working on the Iran treaty, what you mean? I like the hands-on too. I like the hands-on, but not in a book. I wanna see it with the software. I wanna see the proof of it. Like, I wanna see proof. Show me the proof. Yeah, see it, hear it, study it, then do it. I just wanna see it and learn from it. I don't know, we all learn differently, we are all going to learn it differently. The ways in which I read a chart, if I were to go on, say, a Facebook group or something, and I show a chart, they're gonna ask me they're actually gonna get pissed off. I've seen this a lot. They're actually gonna get pissed off because I use so many points. Take all that stuff off and then show me the chart. None of that stuff even matters. Well, if it didn't matter, I wouldn't use it. If a Cupid didn't bring in, if I see that there is a perpetrator and I map their Cupid, and then that person is found on the perpetrator's Cupid line or their Neptune line, then it matters to me. Now Cupid is really mattering to me. And if I see it again, oh, well, I'm glad that I mapped Cupid because had I not mapped Cupid, I wouldn't have been able to put that hotspot there that's right there by the FBI or, or the missing event or whatnot. So I think that we all just learn differently, and I think that we all should respect each other and the way that we do it, the way that we understand it. I may not understand or I may not do everything that Molly McCord does. There's a lot of things that I just don't get why she does or says some of the things, but I like her. I like her. I like her astrology. I like, I like all astrologers. I mean, if they're doing astrology, I love them. The way that they do it may not be the way that I want to do it, or the way, but that doesn't mean that I can't like them or I can't listen to them. And I'm definitely not going to be like, hey, you need to do it this way. Pull this chart up. Do it my way. I'm not going to do that. They're doing it their way. I'm going to listen. I'm going to take what I want, leave what I want, and be done, Yeah. But it makes sense in her method. Whose method? Molly's? Molly reads charts just like I do. I don't have room for a board. Oh, yeah, I already read that. Yeah, she uses the same house system that I use, but a lot of people don't. Doesn't mean that they're off, that their astrology isn't right for them. It's right for them, just not right for me. Trump just banned Israel from the G7. He and the world just gave Iran everything that they want to stop this war. When I played the tape through and looked at his birthday and just was playing the tape through, I was seeing a lot of things that were going to come up with Turkey. And I put it out in a video, whether or not it's going to come into fruition or not, who knows? But man, I was seeing a lot with Turkey. So let me know if you ever see anything, hear anything with Trump, Turkey, and King Charles. There's this relationship that these three are going to, and it's with war. It's with war. Let me know if you come up with anything. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off here. I've been on here for 2 hours now. And I'm hoping that I got, before it all went south, I hope that I explained everything. I sure tried. Anyways, guys, I'm going to jump off here and I hope you have a great rest of the evening. Peace out.
Clean like your soul, won't be forgotten. We stand strong for you, never give up. Seek justice and truth. Day and night we search. Community gathers, wipe the tears away. Rise up for you, Sebastian strong. Sebastian's army, we march on. Each day comes and goes, hope in our hearts. You're never alone, we'll bring you home. Wish it was a dream, babe. It lingers on, but strength we carry will keep you strong. Rise up for you, Sebastian strong. Sebastian's army, we march on. Each day comes and goes, hope in our hearts. You're never alone, we'll bring you home. Wish it was a dream, hey, it lingers on, but strength we carry will keep you strong.